How are we making deals work with 8 interest? I know the market is in a serious funk right now, so it's not surprising things aren't as rosy as they were 3 years ago. But so many of the deals I'm looking at either only break even or are in the red because the rents don't cover the mortgage payment with a little extra for capex. I've had to focus on lower cost value add properties sub $100,000 in order to make anything work. Maybe put them out for Section 8. Not to mention some of the attitude I'm getting from agents and sellers. I don't like the idea of making disrespectful deals, but I will put in offers for a little less than asking in hopes to leverage someone's desperation to sell, until they decide to take offense to an offer that's a little too low for their tastes. I had one seller's agent hang up on me when I suggested the possibility of owner carry on a triplex. I'm sure everyone's frustrated with how things are now, but these things have made it really hard to get rolling and start a portfolio. Any thoughts or suggestions would be great. We're not. Generally speaking, there might be some deals to be had in specific markets. But overall, the heyday where anyone could jump in and find a deal this sunset for now, it seems. I'm taking a year or two off and reinvesting in my properties a bit while banking the rest for friendlier skies. They say make hay while the sun shines. Welp, it seems like it's getting kinda dark. It's not happening too much. Deals work when rates and prices are inverse, either high prices and low rates or vice versa. We're at high prices and high rates, theoretically the worst position to be in. I'm still looking at deals every day, but haven't seen one that excites me this entire calendar year. I'm leaning very heavily towards buying a laundromat or something similar instead of more units. It's difficult. There's no question the housing market at large is completely out of whack. And some would use the dreaded B word. That said, there are some markets where the price-to-rent ratios are still somewhat reasonable and make sense. But you have to seek them out, and most likely they're outside your own farm area. Buying with cash now. Rehabbing. Renting. Waiting. We'll buy with cash again and finance when rates come down a bit. Basically just leaving more equity in place so that cash flow still happens. If you can hang in there, this market will weed out a lot of competition and drive them to other opportunities. Not advice for now, but markets are cyclical and people aren't. Agents are getting pressure from their sellers to get 2021-22 prices, so they're between a rock and hard place. Give it a year or two and you'll be back in the driver's seat. Seller financing at below market rates. I got a deal where I paid what seller wanted for price bid. I'm getting zero interest seller financing for next 100 months. Balloon in 100 months. They got their price burr. I get the benefit off zero interest for next 100 months. I stay under $100K and pay cash. I'm also looking at $200,000 homes with $100K down. Rent is $1,800 and mortgage is about $950 even at 8.5. Wait for prices to come down. Get seller financing. I am closing on a multifamily deal soon where I offered for them to either get their desired purchase price but finance the deal on a 30 years amort 10 years balloon at 5 or about 15 discount on purchase price. They went with the seller financing. They just needed enough cash to cover their note and were otherwise open to terms. Conventional loans now allow 5 on 3 and 4 plexes. Keep on house hacking. You say in a funk. What if 810 is normal and where it's supposed to be in the 03 was a once in a lifetime occurrence? With enough cash. I just did a house that works at 10. Went with a DSCR loan that had a 5-year prepayment penalty, opted to not go for the penalty, so it increased the rate from 9.25 to 10. Pity is $12.43. House will rent easy for $1,600. Far from the best deal, but got an awesome house in an awesome area locked down. I just try to remember this is a long game. I get the tax deduction, appreciation, loan paydown and small cash flow. I have 20 apartments. At 8% I am not a buyer unless prices drop 20. I've made a dozen disrespectful offers in my market. Homes older than 45 days on market. Found the person who was hurting and am closing in a few weeks. Deal will cash flow, but I'm gonna house hack and upgrade a few things. Will this happen for you? Not sure, but all it takes is finding that one person who will wiggle that price down for you. Friends have been dumping their properties. They are mostly in the short-term rental space up in Seattle. Said their Airbnb income has dried up enough to dump them. They were very successful with it for 8 years if I remember correctly. I'm down in Florida and I short-term only 5 minutes from the sand. But I also have annual rentals. Neither of my strategies down here have begun to flux though. Perhaps it's the area. Lowballing 25 is how I have made deals work. You're not, just buy T-bills. Nothing is working at 8 with the cap rates where they are. The only time a deal pencils is if the buyer is planning on putting down 50 or more and is good with a 2 return, which isn't going to happen with CD and HYSA paying what they are. I'm selling. That's how great time to liquidate before the music stops. Unfortunately, this will be my last deal for a while. But going to invest in personal life improvements for a while and hold in a HYSA until rates and prices come down. We've been too spoiled for too long with rock bottom interest rates. Now that interest rates are coming back to a midpoint, everyone is crying about these high interest rates, and it's truly laughable. Truly high rates are in the teens and beyond. All spoiled children cry when they realize just how good they've had it and reality sets in. Take offense to an offer. Most ridiculous thing ever. Personally, I cashed out, refied my properties in bulk at 3.375 and buying fewer deals, but larger down payment using the 3.375 money. Value add properties. Only way I've been able to do it is through DSCR loans. Some do as much as 90 LTV. Utilizing Helix and targeting assumables with low rates and low equity. They only get pissy because they know you're right. They are trying to find a fool. Also make sure you plan for rents to come down about 2030. It's hard to make deals work right now. I'm just building cash and getting ready for the good times ahead. People in this thread are taking on debt with higher interest rates than the cap rates of the actual property, which is insane. However, I'm not sure half this thread even understands why that's bad. Simply put, it's like laying 8 cents to earn 6 cents. Creative finance. I haven't purchased anything over 5 interest all year. I guess I'm on the opposite side. There are no good deals. Yes, you are right. But I don't see being in a red as a bad deal. If you get a property in a hot location, it will appreciate regardless being in slightly red for now. I have a property like that. And the rent only covers 80 of the payment. And I'm okay with that. Me paying 20 is still doing a lot better than paying 100. And the area where I bought it is booming with new offices. Facebook, Amazon, Expedia, IBM, Vrbo, etc. So I'm not afraid. Oh no. Poor investors cannot make extra money off of the backs of people who cannot afford a place to live. Do people not know for over a decade in the last 30 years? Rates were higher and some years much higher. 15, 16. 8 was average for years after being in the 10-13 range. This is only new for young people.